Anneka's almost here. Ta-da! She has made it, I think. There she is. Look, she's running. Nearly 30 years on, Challenge Anneka is back for a brand new series. Ta-da! It's so good to see you. We're allowed to cuddle now. Have a seat. Have a seat. You have not changed a bit. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Shall we remind ourselves of Challenge Anneka? Have we look? Well, that's, it just takes me back. It really does to see that recreated. Why is it taking so long, though? Or do you think this is the right time?
Well, isn't it interesting? I hadn't really thought about bringing it back because even though it's not on telly, I'm still so involved with all the old projects.
Of course.
In my heart, I'm still in it.
Yes.
And television companies started to come to me going, what do you reckon? And I was, I was sort of open to it, but not really thinking about it seriously. But funnily enough, I think it is the right time now.
Absolutely.
And even though filming it in a recession in the winter, I mean, it nearly broke us. but it, but human beings are still hardwired to be altruistic, and the outpouring of nostalgia and help and support from everyone, even though during the filming, a company might go into, administration. I mean, it was chaos. People crawling all over the place, people queuing up, wanting to help. But the goodwill was there, and that's what motivates everyone.
Absolutely. And that's the thing about it. That's the thing. That's the joy of the show.
The joy of the show is that truck rolls into town. It has a vibration of its own, and people just come out and help. It is extraordinary.
And a trailblazer for so many other shows. You were the first to do that, and some brilliant shows that have done amazing things. But you were the trailblazer.
Oh, well, it was funny. It all started when I did Treasure Hunt, and I just thought, that was putting a woman right in control in the middle of the action.
And I don't think people realise that. 40 years ago, you being in Treasure Hunt and it being all about women being in charge, that was groundbreaking.
Wasn't it?
I mean, that just didn't happen,
because women on telly just sat behind desks,
or
they were draped over a car on the Golden Shot as a prize in a sort of frilly bikini or something.
When you think back,
it was an extraordinary time, wasn't it?
But you changed a lot of things.
And when we started with Challenge, it was really important to me. We had an all-female team. We were all so young. We're all under 30, but we all had dinner on Monday night. We're still in touch. They call themselves the Concrete Girls because we survived it, and it is a sort of survival. I mean, my son came to see me on location because he hadn't been born during the original series. He couldn't believe just the scale of it, and everyone's going, "Can you quickly? Do you need this? And can we have this?" And I said, "Hello, darling. Oh, got a nice haircut. Listen, can you get these joiners and 4 painters by 5 o'clock?" I never saw him again. And he loved it because you feel part of this big team.
A big team. One of the things that you did, and one of the challenges I think that stays with everybody and we remember so well, was the Romanian orphanage.
Yes.
That was incredible what you did. Again, something that hadn't really been done before. I mean, that goes way back to the early 90s. And that was life-changing for
That was life-changing. And that was, again, one of these projects I've kept in touch with because when the challenge ends, the projects don't end. Hopefully we've just given a leg up to the charity to continue. And in this case, it was the most terrible deprivation that we found. The orphanage scandal was something which we look back on now and we can't even believe it happened. But it was terrible in the 90s. And when we eventually got out to this orphanage, there were just 600 children tethered in cots, tied up, in the dark, no electricity, raw sewage running down corridors. And it was all because of this amazing school teacher called Monica McDade, who just worked as a primary school teacher in Solihull, and she wrote, "Dear Anneka," and this is an example of how that programme changed the lives of so many people, and hers in the most extreme way, because she just after the challenge said, "I can't go back to England," and she stayed on. And she coordinated a huge sort of continuing operation to help those kids. And now, sort of 30 years on, the charity we set up, which has raised millions of pounds, has created halfway houses and sheltered housing for some of the orphans who are now obviously young adults. And it's just such a beautiful story because they're now learning farming skills. And the volunteers who were on that original challenge all finance themselves to go out year after year to do running repairs and stay with the kids and support Monica. I mean, it's the most unbelievable story.
Monica wanted to send you a wee message because she's very grateful to you for kicking this all off. Have a wee look at what she said.
It's hard to believe that it's over 30 years since you spearheaded the team going out to Romania to renovate the orphanage. And in that time, the lives of so many young people have been changed dramatically, as indeed the lives of the villagers and the volunteers. And I think your legacy of caring and love has had a long-lasting effect on the young people in our care over there. But, you know, as for me, the acceptance of the challenge all those years ago has had a tremendous and lasting impact on my life. I'll never forget it. So now, Anneka, I can only wish you all the very best for this new programme, and I hope it's as successful as ours was.
Oh, isn't that great?
Oh, Monica, you see, I haven't seen her. I went out a few years ago because two of the orphans, mustn't call them orphans anymore because they're now young adults, former orphans had got married, and we went out and, you know, she is an amazing woman, and she really does, you know, she's right at the top because of how she's literally given up her life for this project. But she represents hundreds, if not thousands, of volunteers who've helped on these projects all around the world, actually, because we sold the format all around the world. So there's things going on all over the place. And, you know, it is a lovely thing to be part of.
It's fantastic.
And all the volunteers, you know, they come on the challenges and go, now I know why people come back again and again.
Yeah.
And some of them finance themselves this time round to go from... They jump from project to project.
I can't wait to see it. So it's going to be on Saturday. 8:50 on Channel 5.
Yes.
Fantastic.
But there's a lovely thing about the Romania thing, which is why we finally went, yes, let's do this, because the war with Ukraine broke out. And where the orphans stay now is right on the Ukraine border, on the Romania side. And so they were living in these halfway houses. And when refugees started coming over the border, they gave up their beds to the refugees. And at that moment, I mean, it was the humanitarian art that blew me away, I have
Anneka,
to say.
that's incredible. Isn't that amazing?
It was
it's still going on, and that you've just passed on that love and hope and all of these things.
Well, it's all there. It's out there in the world. We forget. People are so amazing.
It, though.
People are so amazing.
Thank you so much, Anneka.
Thank you.
It's great stuff. Thank you.